Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. It's taking me a little bit of time to make this video. Just a lot of this content, a lot of these topics and everything I want to get to with this staff. It's near and dear to my heart. It's a lot of personal stuff, and I can't wait to put this together, just my thought process and share it with you guys. First and foremost, thank you to everybody that is subscribed to the channel. You guys did an awesome job hitting that subscribe button. I appreciate everybody that's helped us get now above 11,000. The last few videos, you guys have been smashing that subscribe button, smashing that like button. So please, please, please continue to do so. It's really helping us grow this channel and this platform. Can't thank you guys enough, especially going to this holiday season. Speaking of the holiday season, special thank you to our sponsor, BUSR, busr.com/fanatic. We have that holiday promo, that holiday 21 promo. Cheers to everybody out there. Nothing better you can do this holiday season than sign up on busr.com/fanatic. Put down your initial deposit, at least $50 on your initial deposit. Get your initial deposit in. We are doing an 150% free play match right now. So when you hit that site, it's going to look like this. And when you get on there, we match up to $1,500 on your initial deposit for free play money. And we have another promo coming real soon here after Christmas, another cool promo for new signups. But right now, this is the best one I've seen across a bunch of different sports books. So could be more excited to partner with BUSR. So, we've had some coaching changes here at Texas, and one coach, I'll start with Stan Drayton, who anybody that's followed this channel knows how much I love Coach Drayton and what he's done here at the University of Texas. When he was, obviously his resume was incredible going back to the 90s with guys like Brian Westbrook and what he did at Ohio State, what he did in the NFL, the Chicago Bears, Florida Gators, and now here at the University of Texas. And we were beneficiaries of that. And every offseason, it's funny, his name would come up, whether he was on Herman's staff, now Sark's staff, for NFL gigs, right? Los Angeles Rams offering him a job to go work on Sean McVay's staff. My own Dallas Cowboys, who I'll get to here in a little bit, looking to get Stan Drayton on their staff. And when you look at what he's done, the only thing I can say is congratulations. Congratulations, and best of luck to Coach Drayton at Temple. Look, this is extremely well-deserved, guys. I personally, just in terms of, the success and well-being of qualified Black coaches in this industry, in this sport, it's very, very near and dear to my heart and important to me. And seeing the successes, even recently this year with a guy like a Mel Tucker, a guy like a Deion Sanders landing the number one player in the country to Jackson State. It's, this is a sport where men of character like Stan Drayton are critical to these young men, and him getting an opportunity to go and show his character, show, his he talked about Temple Tough in his opening press conference. I couldn't be more excited for Stan Drayton. And it's crazy because there's so many personal ties throughout the next, 3 of the 4 coaches I'm going to talk about. Temple is a school, up in Philadelphia, more so probably known for their basketball program and the legendary coach John Chaney. But they've had football coaches like Manny Diaz and Matt Rule come through there and have success up in the Philadelphia area. I actually was coming out of college. A lot of you guys know I went to Howard University, but coming out of high school, probably if you go back and look at when I graduated, like when the pamphlet with all the graduates and where they're going to go to school, it might say Temple on there for me because I was pretty much enrolled, ready to go. That was what I wanted to do at that time in my life. My aunt graduated from Temple. I was very, very close with her. She ended up buying a home in Philadelphia, and that was just somewhere I wanted to be. So moving forward, just some changes that happened real late in the game. I ended up wanting to stay home in the DC area and going to Howard University. And at that point in my life, it was extremely important that I wanted to pursue an opportunity at a HBCU. And I'm glad I made that decision. I felt like it was the right decision to attend Howard. But in the Marvel timeline land of what ifs, there is another timeline where Steve goes to Temple. So I always quietly root for them. I think that is a great stop for Stan Drayton, obviously somewhere where he has experience within the area, considering his previous ties at Villanova. But again, what he did here at the University of Texas at Austin, Bijan Robinson, Roshan Johnson. I talked about this during the season when we were having all these culture problems. I said, and I tweeted this, if our team had the character and culture, if the whole team had the character and culture of the running back room, throw in Jonathan Brooks, throw in Daniel Young, who was being selfless and was like, I'm not going to enter the portal, I'm going to stay here. Like all these names, that's a testament to what Stan Drayton brings as a coach. So well done, Temple, and congratulations. That is well deserved. And that's kind of the good side of football, is seeing the people you like getting promotions, getting elevated, and moving on to bigger and better opportunities where they can really showcase everything they can provide. Because to me, Stan Drayton is so much more than just a running back coach. He's definitely somebody I would consider a leader of men. Now, I am also very excited with the announcement of our new running back coach, the man brought on to replace fill the big shoes that Stan Drayton is leaving behind. And again, shout out to Coach Drayton, but it's old friend of mine, Tashard Choice, who I have here, the People's Choice. My buddy and I, because I'm gonna share 3 quick stories. It's my channel, and I talk for a living, so why not? But buddy of mine, shout out to my buddy Bruce. We used to call Tashard Choice the People's Choice when he was on the Dallas Cowboys, and we had a 3-headed monster of Marion Barber and Felix Jones and Tashard Choice. I actually got that up here. So Marion the Barbarian, those of you who are Cowboys fans, y'all are very familiar with these guys, as well as Tashard Choice, who was our 4th-round pick back in the day out of Georgia Tech. Now, this group, by the way, and this is Felix Jones before we turned him into a bowling ball, but Tashard Choice was one of my dudes on the Cowboys back in the days. And one of the reasons why he was one of my dudes was, just his energy and the ferociousness that he played with, and just how energetic he was. He was like a little spark plug every single time he got in the football game. And back in the day, I used to play NCAA, so he was at Georgia Tech when like Reggie Ball and Megatron Calvin Johnson were there, like that little Georgia Tech squad. So Tashard Choice is a really common name amongst college football as well as NFL if you're a Cowboys fan. But it's really interesting because getting back to the TC stories, I shared the first one, which is he gave arguably the greatest pregame speech I've ever heard before a football game by a player. I will have that link below to the YouTube video, but I shared that video. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you should be following me on Twitter at Fan Perspective. But on Twitter, we shared that video of Tashard Choice as a player at Georgia Tech giving an absolutely epic speech. Please go watch that speech and come back and find me if you're not fired up after that Tashard Choice speech. That's why I'm not surprised the brother's a coach now. That's exciting to me. Number 2, Tashard Choice, Cowboys fans. I'm sure y'all remember the game, and this takes me back, but the game when we played Philly, and right after the game, Tashard Choice was famous for asking Michael Vick for an autograph. And this wasn't Atlanta Falcons Michael Vick. This is Michael Vick fresh out of Leavenworth after the dogfighting stuff. And Tashard Choice, when the Eagles first acquired Michael Vick, Tashard Choice famously, as soon as the clock hit 000, made a beeline to Michael Vick and asked for his autograph and got him to sign. I think he got him to sign either some cleats or a football or some gloves. Maybe it was some gloves. I forgot what he got him to sign, but I will never ever forget that, and how berserk everybody went when Tashard Choice went and asked for a signature. These are just some cool tidbits. Tashard Choice was also the one who was involved in that crazy play. Cowboys Washington, Des Bryant's first game down in FedEx Field. I believe it was a Sunday night game, and Jason Garrett's dumbass decided to run a trick play of some sort with 4 seconds left when we had the ball on our own side of the field. Tashard Choice was running a field and fumbled, and I believe it was D'Angelo Hall. I think it was D'Angelo Hall that ran it back for a touchdown, and we ended up losing that game. I think that was the Flozell Adams false start when Roy Williams had. There's a lot of names coming up here right now. And that was the game Tashard Choice had the infamous fumble. I say all that to say this. Glad he's back in my life. After he actually was an intern for the Cowboys after I think he finished with the Colts or whoever as a coach. And then I had not heard from Tashard Choice. I had no idea at all he was out here in these streets coaching. So to hear not only that, he's our guy, but Lincoln Riley and USC basically had him on board, and we came and poached him and brought him to Texas, which is a whole nother can of worms for OU people, USC people, Texas people. This is freaking awesome. But when you hear stuff like that about a coach, especially a running back coach, that tells you a whole lot of things, especially we know what Tashard Choice's personality is, especially if you go watch that speech. That brother can recruit. And so now you're getting, a super recruiter, or what a lot of people in the industry, you'll hear them say a volume recruiter. This is what Texas really, really needs. And honestly, with his energy, young coach, somebody that will definitely relate to the kids across all walks of life, that's somebody you want on your coaching staff. That's somebody that Lincoln Riley identified and wanted on their coaching staff. Steve Sarkisian wanted on his coaching staff. Think about the offensive names I'm mentioning. Couldn't be more excited to have him on staff. We'll see the work that he's already begun to put in, but we'll see, people in the portal he may influence as well as recruiting ties over into the southeastern region of the country, specifically Georgia. Really, really excited about this hire. So welcome on board, Tashard Choice, Coach Choice. This is crazy. It's kind of aging me. When you get guys that you grew up playing with in NCAA football and Madden, and you get old enough to see them become coaches, and you're excited about their next phases of their professional careers. It's just absolutely wild to me. But again, another personal tie, just like the Temple thing with Stan Drayton. Now my Cowboys fandom and my, just overall college football fandom, all those Tashard Choice memories just bubbled up when we got them. Moving over to the receiver room. Chip Brown reported, I believe it was yesterday, at least as of this recording, that Steve Sarkisian has decided to part ways with Andre Coleman, who was Andre Coleman and Stan Drayton were the lone carryovers from the Tom Herman regime. And, I'm never a guy to kick a man while he's down. This is a business. Didn't get the job done, especially on the recruiting trail. I'm not going to say he was a bad receivers coach. There were definitely a lot other positions in areas of struggle of why we went 5-7 this year as a football team, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. However, the development wasn't really there with Andre Coleman either. Xavier Worthy came in here as a true freshman with no spring and was wide receiver 1 the moment he got here, which is awesome because he's really talented, but telling to the rest of the group. Did Andre Coleman maybe get a bad rap from a lot of the injuries of what he inherited? Whether it's Troy O'Mary or Jordan Whittington, sure. But in terms of the overall group, you look at the guys that have since hit the transfer portal already this offseason, and then, coming up short with Evan Stewart, Winfield, even a guy like Faison Wilson, who he had back in the day, committed here. It's it's not enough, and this is a production-based business. I'm really excited about Brennan Thompson, but this was a class where there was a lot of in-state talent alone, let alone the leads we had out of state, and just wasn't able to close. And at the receiver position, I mentioned the volume recruiter term earlier. You got to be a closer in this industry. The great teams have those sharks there at that position. Not to say that Andre Coleman can't coach. I don't know the man personally, but at this point, I think it's the right decision on the part of Steve Sarkisian to part ways, especially after a 5-7 season. And this is something that's not surprising. I don't think to anybody that's had their hand on the pulse, especially after National Signing Day and seeing the results there. We did highlight that receiver was one of the weaknesses. As much as we like this class, a top 5 class where it stands right now, as we know, we're still in the recruiting period, but it wasn't good enough for Andre Coleman. Do wish him the best of luck wherever he goes. Never heard anything horrible or derogatory about the guy like we've had with other coaches here in the past. But quite frankly, just didn't get the results, didn't work out. And best of luck to the brother. Now, the last one, there's a name out here, and I hope I'm not jinxing this or anything, but the Brennan Marion lead or story or potential of hiring him is the last big personal tie for me. For those who don't know, Brennan Marion right now is currently the receivers coach at Pitt. And I'll kind of go through his track because he's a very, very hot up and coming young name in the coaching industry. It's very exciting for those of us, like I told you, wanting to celebrate some of these black coaches and qualify black coaches and getting them opportunities and whatnot. It's really cool to see a guy who's deemed in the football community as a visionary and somebody who is, one of the offensive minds, young offensive minds. We don't hear that too much with brothers. So to hear that with Brennan Marion is amazing. But I do want to kind of get a little personal here for why I feel this way. Number one, I mentioned Howard up top. So Brennan Marion, I actually heard about him. I want to say maybe a year before Howard hired him. But anyway, me as a Howard guy, you heard me mention Howard up top. And this is really, really cool because Brennan Marion, and he was the offensive coordinator at Howard University when we brought in Mike London, that engineered the greatest upset, in my opinion, at least, from a Vegas standpoint, the greatest upset in college football history, especially at the D1 level. The 45-point underdogs, Howard University defeating UNLV that night. And what's really, really cool, Brennan Marion being the offensive coordinator of that team, Brennan, you'll hear a lot right now about the go-go offense and what he's done in kind of cultivating that over his time at Howard, William & Mary, Hawaii, and now, Pittsburgh, and variations of styles depending on, he's one of the things that excites me is Brennan's actually coached quarterbacks, running backs, as well as receivers, on top of being a stud record-breaking receiver at Tulsa himself, back in the late 2000s. And somebody actually, barring the ACL injury, would have made the Miami Dolphins. So he was very, very good as a player and qualified now as a coach with all the positions he played. But the go-go offense it's interesting to me because that's something he really developed at Howard. And, just a lot of conversations recently about HBCUs and football and the landscape there. But it's so cool to me that, you got this young guy there at Howard University, willing and trying to figure out how he can best utilize Kalen Newton, the younger brother of Cam Newton, who was the quarterback that engineered that huge upset win over UNLV back in 2017. And as he's developing it, he names it, a lot of people don't know this, but he named the go-go offense essentially after go-go music, which, me being from the DC area and my age, that is our culture to a core, especially young black males. Go-go music. Not talking hip hop. I'm not talking, anything else. A lot of territories, like you're from the Houston area, you guys came up on chopped and screwed. Like you guys, that's your thing. Baltimore, Chicago, or Chicago's probably more drill. Baltimore's more house music. And DC, it's go-go. And the king of go-go, Chuck Brown, you think of backyard band, TCB, UCB, CCB, next level band, new impressions for some of the younger go-go heads out there. I still listen to go-go music to this day. That's something that's just a staple of my culture, of my being, of my fabric. And I'll always have that in my blood. When Chuck Brown passed away, may he rest in peace, I played that CD in my car until I didn't have a CD player anymore in the car when I got a new car. So that's but Brennan Marion, I'm getting personal here. Just the whole being, he's a year older than me. I think we almost have the same birthday to the day, and he's at Howard. I got the Howard ties. There's just so many, correlations there that I personally just relate to with this brother. And then naming a whole offense after a very subculture of music, and you talk about Florida Avenue in Georgia, or when Georgia becomes 7th Street down there for my true DC heads, and y'all know about the go-go shop right there across from the CVS, Howard University. Like that's why I chose to go to Howard, is because of that culture and him developing that offense. Now, the purpose of the offense, for those who are wondering, you guys can watch a lot of his coaching clinics on YouTube and whatnot, but two back sets, heavy on two back sets, which I know Rob Babers, big fan of. 20 personnel, let's get it. But utilizing what are people doing off the ball, and are we playing with tempo, right? And so one of the things is the guys off the ball, and he says this all the time, what you're doing away from the football, without the football, really shows and dictates how you love your teammates. And he's not just talking about the offensive line. He's talking about what everybody's doing. And it's a marriage of all the spread formations and concepts and all of what we're used to, including tempo. He'll often talk about, hey, I want to run 80, 90 plays a game. And this is more of him as offensive coordinator and just his philosophy. But I want to kind of get through why he's such an exciting candidate. But marrying all of the misdirection of the old school, those of us who grew up with the option, those of us who grew up with, the wing T backfield where 3-4 people are in the backfield, and you're following the fullback or you're following the H back, and next thing you know, guys are breaking outside with the wing back, and all of those concepts. So it's a marrying dynamic. A lot of stuff that Gus Malzahn did, especially with Nick Marshall and Trey Mason when they went to the national championship with Auburn. I do see some similarities there, and I think there is some ties in that coaching tree specifically to Gus Malzahn. But Brennan Marion, scheme and genius and all this stuff we're talking about aside, this guy just came off of developing the Blitnikoff Award winner Jordan Addison, who's also from the DMV, by the way. And this brother just won the Blitnikoff Award here in 2021, and he was coached by Brennan Marion. So when you look at all of the things that tie in here, I am personally very excited that we are pursuing him. I don't know what's going to happen. I hope I don't jinx it. And I'll be excited and we'll cover whoever's hired. Some of the big names, a lot of people, I think Texas fans are probably more familiar with like a Malcolm Kelly or Rashad Samples or somebody like that, just being more regional based. But we do know what Brennan Marion has recruited. Texas is from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and has recruited that North Texas region in particular before. So there is experience there. But when you're talking about one of the brilliant minds and who conceptually his stuff is riding up through the NFL ranks, again, you're getting coaches who are more than their position group. When you get him as a wide receiver coach, if Texas can nail that, I'm telling y'all, you're getting more than just a receiver coach. You're getting more with Tashard Choice than just a running back coach. These are people that are going to go and recruit the other side of the ball for you in these regions, and really, really land some hitters. on your team. So could not be more excited just to hear the names that are being thrown around, specifically Brennan Marion. And I really, really hope, personally, just because it feels like, one of those people that from afar. Never met Brennan Marion, even his personal story. Um, of overcoming being homeless when he was kind of in that transition period of the NFL around that same period of time in my life. I've never said this, publicly on the channel or anything like this, but it's part of my backstory. When I was around 22, 20, 22, 23 years old, real rough spot in my life. I actually went through a temporary bout of homelessness myself. Was able to pick myself up and continue to work and all those type of things. But I did have a period of time where I was in between just where to sleep, where to bathe myself, all those things, and literally having to figure things out day to day. So I've been there. Fortunately for me, it was a very short period of my life, but at one point I was homeless too. And it just goes to show when you have people like that can share their story with other young brothers out there, other young men, and help uplift them, that's extremely positive to me, and I hope we can continue to elevate these people in the coaching profession. This is somebody I've been following for a while. That's why I haven't. Yeah, it's very very serious to me. I haven't tweeted about it or mentioned anything about it until now, but it's just something that really resonated on my heart to share with you guys because I give credit to Steve Sarkisian with what he's looking and how he's looking to fill out this staff in year two, especially with some of the talent he's starting to load up on his players that he's bringing in, the players that are sticking around. Guys, we're not just looking to reload and rebuild the team that's 5-7. We're looking to rebuild this freaking culture. So you got to have people that really, really have been through some adversity, have been through some stuff, the same way Steve has been, right? And so that's why I'm excited about the decisions that are getting made and how Texas is going about it. Best of luck to Stan Drayton. Best of luck to Andre Coleman. Thank you guys for your time here at Texas. Excited to have Tashard Choice here on board, and hopefully, I'm making a Brennan Marion new receiver coach video. Again, just a name that's being floated right now, but somebody who just if anything, you learned about a really cool up and coming coach that you can follow wherever he goes. Hell, he might even become the OC at Pitt. So that's really dope. Thank you guys for enjoying this content, watching me. Subscribe if you really, really enjoy it. Hit that like button. And while it's holiday season, take advantage of the promo busr.com/fanatic. Go there right now. Don't stop. Go there right now. Hit them up with that Holidays 21 promo after you sign up and take advantage of the 150% free play match. Guys, it is not going to last too much longer. We're in the week of Christmas. We are in the giving mood, giving season. You've seen we've had promos and cool events, contests all the way along. Rock with us, help us support our sponsor as they support this channel. They're helping me, grow this platform as well. Couldn't be more thankful to be partnered with BUSR. Go over there and subscribe on busr.com/fanatic. Y'all, I appreciate y'all. Remember, Lawrence always up.